My boyfriend's controlling friend claimed I lied about my trauma and she got blocked.
You just want people to like you. You just keep making stuff up.
That was the friend right there. I, 22 female, have been dating my 22 male boyfriend for 5 years now. We've been living together in a small town very, very close to where he grew up with his friend, 22 female, Sarah. By the way, this comes from user 911 What You Smokin', and you can submit your own stories on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, his friend Sarah has always been very vocal about how much she loves him, how she knows him so well, and how she's even seen him in the nudie as kids, which is not a flex you want to make. How she is like his sister, blah, 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 blah. They only see each other about once a month, and she has been in our house about 3 times. Something important about me, I went through a SA a few months before dating my now boyfriend. This was something that impacted me and has ruined certain aspects of my life. The guy who did it is a well-known person around the area, which means that from time to time, I run into him. This brings me so much anxiety and pain, and the only way to feel better is venting about it. Sarah was at my house one time. I started bawling about it and decided to trust her, big mistake, and I told her everything. She knew the guy, and the guy had also knows her, and she acted so compassionate and kind in front of me. One day we were having some dinner as a group. It was my boyfriend, Sarah, and other people I didn't know. Sarah asked my boyfriend what he was planning to do after uni. My boyfriend, I'm not sure yet. Me, why not a master's degree? Sarah,
God, OP, stop pressuring him. He's worked so hard all his life. Give him a GD break and let him decide what to do.
she said it in such an aggressive tone. Mind you, I was just suggesting. I've never told my boyfriend he had to do something. He grabbed my hand and squeezed it, telling me it was all right and that he didn't think I was forcing him to do anything. Then Sarah asked what his future plans were for housing. I mentioned my family has a house in the southern part of the country, maybe 5 hours away by a drive, and that we were planning on moving there in the future. I kid you not, these were her exact words.
Oh, heck no. He isn't moving to the south. He's staying here. And you better not be going farther away than nearest city.
I was a bit annoyed. Why was it when I was recommending doing a master's, I was forcing him to do something, yet she was literally prohibiting him from moving? Yeah, I'm the controlling one. Anyways, Sarah then started talking about ex-boyfriends and said she didn't mind if any of her friends got with her exes. I mentioned something to her like, I'd warn the girl first. I don't want anyone to suffer what I suffered. Sarah blew up. She was red in the face, and these were her words.
How effing dare you throw yourself in the middle of a relationship? Are you that possessive that you can't let your ex be happy? You're not over your ex, and I can tell you, you cried about him the other day. You're hurting boyfriend by not telling him the truth.
Oof. She was accusing me of all these things, and then the cherry on top, Sarah goes,
Boyfriend hasn't been the same since you two are together. He's so quiet. He has to talk to me all day. You keep showing affection in front of us all the effing time. I've seen him nudie as a kid, and I know him so well. You're no good for him.
what is with that hang up? Why is Sarah hung up on like,
I've seen his wiener, I've seen his wiener, I've seen his wiener.
Okay, so she was annoyed at us holding hands and hugging each other in front of her. I started crying over her tone and her accusations. I'm very sensitive. And then she said something that made me bawl even harder.
I'm sure you lied about your essay. If it were actually true, you would have gone to the police. What did he do to you exactly? Oh my gosh, I hated that. I didn't want to be that.
Look, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but Sarah's going into the sun.
No,
I'm sorry.
Take it back.
I know that we're rolling it back.
Attitude.
If you're gonna have that attitude,
going to the
I'm
sun.
turning you into an astronaut, bro. I'm sorry.
Her attitude.
That's you don't have that attitude with me.
Look, dude, I don't know what crazy train you're on, girlfriend, but there's this thing called compassion and not being jealous. And if you actually wanted OP's boyfriend, what's his name?
I don't know.
You should have, got dibs the first time you saw his wiener. Okay, that's on you.
Look, maybe with like years and years and years of hard work and intensive therapy, this person could change and not be the person who exhibits this kind of behavior.
I
the
bet
kind of
you-
behavior that no one should stand for.
I bet you the second she goes to her house, her parents are rolling out a red carpet. What do you need, honey? What do you need? What do you need? It's just a person that's gotten everything she's wanted all her life. And now she's mad.
I guess.
Now
probably
she's mad.
There's some level of entitlement there.
Now she's mad. She doesn't have something she wants. I want OP. I want...
How did the dinner keep going? Like, if I'm at this dinner, I'm leaving. I'm getting up. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm being like,
All
that
right.
was terrible. Don't want to hang out with you again.
We're
Goodbye.
out.
Is
delete
anyone
her
else
number.
coming with me? That's
Yeah.
what I. That's what I was.
True. True.
So I blew up and told her in detail what happened in front of everybody. I was so embarrassed when I realized I told a bunch of strangers something so personal. Sarah, and I'm not Sarah. Sarah just says,
"You're such a effing manipulator. Remember when I met you, you were crying over your weight."
why are we not removing Sarah from the dinner?
Dude,
Sarah needs to go now.
She needs to go out back.
Come on,
That's where
dude.
she needs to go.
Sarah kept throwing things out there that made no sense. Anything she could, she was throwing it into my face. She has an ED, and she threw my own self-esteem issues into my face.
What's Ed?
It's a eating disorder.
Oh,
An
nice.
ED. Well, it's different for men, but
No, it could be the same thing.
Could be the same
no,
thing.
I just mean there's another acronym
Yes,
for ED. Anyway, I wasn't expecting my boyfriend to say anything. Not only is he incredibly bad at confrontation due to years of from his family, he's terrified of her. She has been like a sister, yeah, but as that big sister who bullied him as well. Anyways, we're moving to the south in a few months, and there's an update. Oh my God, what? That was the end? There needs to be like, oh my...
Dude, we got your no contact. But this probably happened.
Yeah?
She's processing it, put it on Reddit, and let's see what happens. But
Look,
dude,
the only way that a person exhibits that kind of behavior in a group social setting is because they are trying to game somebody. Like they're trying to pull like dominance. They're trying to feel better about themselves. They're probably extremely insecure, and they've picked you as a target to systemically tear down in front of everybody. So nobody looks at them and goes, "Oh, like Sarah has her problems." It's like, I'm gonna make everybody focus on OP.
also,
like,
it's weird. People like that, the second you say something to them,
can't handle it. Yeah. Update. I shared a story about Sarah. It was written a few days after the whole situation went down, and I was just looking for a place where I could vent my feelings. Thank you to those who reached out to offer support and advice. People on TikTok have decided to twist the truth and add things that are simply not true. So I want to just update so people don't get confused. 1. Boyfriend and Sarah have never done the spicy tango. They had only seen each other once a month. There isn't a point in the story where I mention them sleeping together. I only mention the fact that their families were so close as kids, 2-year-olds, that Sarah and my boyfriend had seen each other in the nudie at that age. It has never been a spicy relationship. 2, boyfriend cut her off without hesitation. Please don't come after him. My boyfriend was quiet during the confrontation because he was as a child, and confrontation basically makes him shut down. And Sarah was one of those who took advantage of his kind nature to force him to do things for her. I know from an outside perspective it seems like he's spineless and let me take all the... He's aware of this and feels terrible. He, however, gathered enough strength to send her a pretty long message that night, saying how what she did was unacceptable, how we were going to move, how she acts like a feminist yet shames a victim and basically makes me confess what happened that night to a bunch of strangers.
Oh, that type of person and that type of mentality is the kind of the most toxic personality out there.
Oh yeah?
Where they act like they're a victim as well. I guarantee you, she acts like a victim and just really isn't. And,
Sarah.
Ah!
Oh, Sarah. I know confrontation and defending people might come easy to you, but it's incredibly difficult for him to confront others, especially when Sarah has been a bully to him his entire effing life. I don't blame him. He's got issues, and we're working with them. The fact that he was able to cut her off without a second thought makes me feel happy. 3, Sarah doesn't regret it. You don't say. She sounds like a person who would be full of remorse. According to some friends we have in common, it was something she had on her chest for a long time, and she didn't want to stand by and let me manipulate and control his life. God forbid I give my own boyfriend suggestions or plan my future with him. She thinks my boyfriend cutting her off is my doing. Nope, sorry. That was all his choice. 4, the strangers reached out. There were a lot of people at the dinner party, and this happened while we were having dinner with Sarah's friends, who had to hear my very, very detailed explanation of what happened to me. I deeply regret telling Sarah about this, especially in front of so many people. I made them so uncomfortable. But many of those strangers reached out to give me support. They have also cut Sarah out of their lives because she showed her true colors, making an SA victim relive trauma and accusing her of not being over him. Those are good strangers.
Yup.
Those are good strangers.
Those are good friends.
Again, I can't understand how the dinner continued. That happens at the dinner, and it's like, oh, all right, well, I feel like we're all gonna get up and leave now.
Was the food there? Was it almost about to be there? Like, I will be for real. If that's sad and the food's coming to the table, I'm gonna need the boxes.
Oh yeah, of course you take the food.
Get
the food.
Get the
but
margarita.
I'm not eating a meal with that thing.
Get the margarita. Like, you know what? I'm gonna take this to go and put it in a box as well.
Yeah. I'm so happy that they didn't let that night ruin their image of me and that I'm not a controlling freak like Sarah said. What now? So after the whole drama that night, we went home and I realized that I can't effing live like this. I don't want to run into my every so often because it triggers me and I can't heal this way even after 5 years. My boyfriend can't handle having one of his so-called friends live literally a 10-minute walk from us. So like the post says, we've decided to move earlier than expected. We're looking for a therapist to help us deal with our respective issues. And there's a second update, folks.
Yo, all right.
Hey guys, this is going to be my final update. I want to leave the whole Sarah thing behind me since she is no longer a part of our lives. I first came to Reddit in search of people who would support me during a difficult time, and while I have received so much love and support, thank you for this, I have also had to read various mean comments and people doubting my story. I have also seen people that have made TikToks about my situation. Various TikToks changed the title, changed various details of the story to make my boyfriend look horrible, added in lies where they said Sarah and him slept together, which is, again, not true, cut off very important details and basically manipulated my whole story for clicks and views. I have had to read people telling me that I have no self-respect for staying with my partner, call my partner a D-bag for having to deal with his own traumatic problems, and more. But for now, I don't want to keep updating Reddit about Sarah because then I would have to mention everything all over again and it's not really good for my mental health. But I do want to share some info to finally close this.
All right.
1. Sarah and her friend tried to contact me last night.
Oh, no.
She is blocked on our phone, so I received a message from her friend, who I didn't know existed. I guess she realized my boyfriend was actually being serious about going no contact, and she realized that she effed up. The friend said that I should talk to my boyfriend and tell him to change his mind because it was something she said in the heat of the moment, and that she was sorry, and that she wanted us to have a girls' day to talk about the situation.
No, absolutely not. No.
Dude,
No.
you're crazy.
Dude, girls' day? You can't do that to a girl and be like, girls' day.
I, of course, just blocked that number without even responding. Good for you, girl. People have been mostly on my side, and Sarah is going crazy over this fact. I guess she realized she showed her true colors and that she doesn't have any power over people anymore. I guess she realized the only thing she could do was apologize, but I don't even think she really regrets it. Of course she doesn't.
Nope.
She just regrets that everyone hates her now because she, showcased some of the most monstrous behavior you could ever showcase
Also,
in front of a whole group of people.
So why did you grab boyfriend before this happened? Like, why are we doing this now? Why?
I don't even really think she's going for the boyfriend. I think it's just a power play. She's just
Yeah,
she's trying to power play the
see that.
dynamics. So she picked OP as a target.
That's how I'm a victim of this.
And she
yes.
knew OP was a target too because OP confided in Sarah and told her all that in confidence. And then Sarah, in a group setting, said, I know how to up my social credit right now.
And the fact where it goes, I've known him longer, that one's like,
Yeah.
I've known him longer.
She did not calculate, though, that the entire group was not psycho like her.
It's a hard one to not calculate.
Yeah.
OP has the power of love.
OP does have the power of love. Anyway,
Yeah.
even if she did regret it, she used my trauma as a weapon against me, and I will never forgive anyone who did that. Number 2, I mentioned in my last post that people from the dinner party reached out to defend me, but now I've been reached out by Sarah's ex-friends, not even the ones from the party, to tell me that Sarah is not only trying to control my boyfriend, but everyone she interacts with. And when she couldn't, well, Sarah would either give them ultimatums or just cut them off.
Oh.
Long story short, everything had to go Sarah's way, and she would get upset when people wouldn't bend over backwards for her.
Yeah.
In school, she bullied other people and then claimed she was being bullied because nobody wanted to be around her. Sarah has told me she was bullied, but not that she was a bully. She claimed in the past that she was an empath, which is why she understood my pain. The real reason why she blew up at me that night was because she saw my boyfriend is changing. She saw that it's an actual serious relationship, that he's making more decisions for himself, and she thought that it was my doing. She didn't like the fact that she couldn't spend more time with him and hated the fact that we hugged and held hands while we were out in public. I guess Sarah's problem is one of control. From what other victims have told me, she seems to be the type who likes to claim they're an empath but also wants to control their friends' lives. It's sad. Really. My boyfriend has opened up more about his experiences with her, and they're heartbreaking, and I just don't feel comfortable sharing more details about this. But by the way, you can get plenty more details, all kinds of details, when you listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you gotta do is go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts and search OK Storytime. And there you will find the entire archive. But we have a little bit more story left. I think, you leave her in the past, you move on with your cool boyfriend, and you work through your problems together,
And go live
and
in
you live happily
Charleston.
ever after.
In Charleston, South Carolina.
We'll never know where you live, but it's probably Charleston, South Carolina.
Or Savannah, Georgia.
Or Savannah, Georgia.
What's an empath with no empathy?
An empath with no
Path.
empathy is a sociopath.
Or pathetic?
Yeah. Is Sarah in love with boyfriend? We honestly don't think that's the case, but I'm aware I could be wrong.
Yep.
To be completely honest, I've questioned this in the past when I met her, but Sarah does have a longtime partner from my understanding. I've met him twice, and I'm sure she never cheats on that guy. And again, Sarah's problem is that she feels the need to control her friends. This ranges from deciding what we're going to have for dinner to demanding we all go dressed a certain way for Halloween to making life choices for others. If you ask me, I think she was projecting. She accused me of being controlling through my past into my face, and also just random things that made no sense to even mention. So yeah, I don't think I want to keep updating. I just want to continue living my life, plan my trip to the south of the country, and take care of my pets. Thank you to all who cared and are supporting. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Shout out to OP getting out of toxic town.